Hi guys, my name is Bart, and in this video I'm going to give you an overview of how to use a Zendesk function that lets you find a user by email address. On a Voiceflow canvas, starting with the Zendesk function, I've got 4 input variables and then 1 output variable. So the 4 input variables are the Zendesk API key, which you generate in Zendesk and then paste directly into here, your Zendesk email address, your Zendesk domain, and then we have customer email. So for customer email, just have a capture step, capture the customer's email to a variable, and then map that variable into the input here. For output variable, you just have to create a user ID variable and then map your output into that variable. So let's demo this. We'll click start, and in Zendesk this is a list of all of my customers. So I'm going to choose this email address, paste it into here, hit go. And this is my output Zendesk user ID. So starting in 279, ending in 489. Back in Zendesk, let's click into Bart. That's the user ID, starting 279, ending 489. So let's take a look at how the function's built. All the input variables on the right hand side and the one output variable. We map all the input variables, then we make sure that all the input variables are actually supplied. If one of these is empty, we send an error saying that we're missing one of the variables. When making a Zendesk API call, we have to use base64 encoded credentials for our authorization header. So this is a custom function that base64 encodes our credentials. Over here we build those credentials and finally feed them into the authorization header. Here we set up the header, so content type authorization, like we just explained. Here we set up our URL where the domain is inserted dynamically. That's why we can just insert it as a variable. And same with our email address. Every time a different customer uses this and gets a different email, it's already in the URL, and then we're searching for the user using their email. Scrolling down, we're using try catch to make the request. So we make the request over here. We make sure that the request was successful. We capture the response. We make sure the response wasn't empty. Finally, we access the user ID. Since the users field is an array of objects, we want to access the first object, which contains our ID value. If successful, we map the user ID to the output variable user ID, and we go down the success path. And if it's not successful, we go down the error path and we show what the error was. Okay, that's the end of the overview. Enjoy the function.